All right, we're live. This is my first video where I'm actually going to code and stuff, so I guess that's exciting. It is 4:17 in the morning right now. Great time for me to get frustrated. Okay, the plan today is to, I have a pretty good working blackjack simulator with just the basic rules, some splitting and stuff, and a naive strategy is built in to win, not based on counting cards or anything, just on what's in front of you. And it can do like 10 million things in a minute and a half or something, 10 million hands of blackjack. So it's running pretty well. So I had that all up and running and stuff, and I wanted to learn how to do unit tests. So this program isn't really, it's not really necessary to do unit tests for it, but obviously you wouldn't want something where it's necessary to be your first experience learning to do unit tests, I guess. So it's compiled or whatever using Cmake, and then Google Test is what I've been using as the framework for the unit testing. Now, Cmake is supposed to have some integrating functions with with Google Test, and it's supposed to run through this thing called ctest. I'm not exactly sure how it all works, but I guess that's the point of the video. So my objective is to get this ctest thing figured out and up and running and learn what it does. So first, I will reacquaint myself with the code in question, and I'll get you guys acquainted as well. So I'll share my desktop, and we'll go check that out. All right, and infinity, good. All right, so here I am in the terminal, and I'll go to the directory it's stored in. What did I put it? Oh, a subdirectory of this because I plan to extrapolate later and use the functions within to make a counting, something that teaches you how to count cards. Right, so there it is. And just got to get repo up. Source email. Looks like I have some things that I didn't quite finish in here. So let's just go to the release, and we'll run Cmake, and we'll run make. We'll see where we're at with this. If not, I'll just revert back to whatever the last thing I pushed to the repo was. It should have been working then. All right, we're all built. From the simulation of whatever that number is, that's the number of hands to be played, and that's the number of decks to put in the whatever they call it, the thing that puts out your cards. Look at that. It works. Another 0. Oh boy. Time that sucker. Pretty much a third of a second, and that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a million cards of blackjack, hands of blackjack. 10 million. Should be linear, so it should be about 30 seconds. Or, I mean, 3 seconds. Duh. Now, if we do 100 million, that should be about 30 seconds. Just waiting. This is compiled with optimization level 2 through GCC here, and it's really not much faster on level 3. Did it break? Has it been 30 seconds yet? Ah, yep. There you go, linear. Okay, so what was that again? Okay, we can add to, we'll append things to the end of .getIgnore. This .idea one. I'm not sure what the input file is for the debug thing. Yeah, I don't know what those files are, so we'll have to check those out. So if I run that again, it shouldn't show up. Great. So we'll go to is that. Oh. Okay, I think I copy and pasted this to use in my unit tests. And actually, let's run. Yep. Okay. I don't have all of the things unit tested that I need to have unit tested, but I have enough to fool around with. Back to the debug folder. I think we can get rid of the in thing. What was the... And we want to check out this enum thing. Oh, I was testing this problem I was having where I had a global enum and some other stuff. Anyway, something called the static initialization fiasco thing. I don't know. Basically, you cannot depend on what order your global variables will be initialized. So I was having some being initialized before what they depended on, and that was giving me issues. It just simply wouldn't run. So this is from that experiment to figure that out. So I can remove that with no issues. Oh, I'm not in that directory. Source enum. And I can get rid of the in thing, I think. Let's go to tests. And tests. Fucking. Sorry about the language. Like I said, the frustrated programmer, right? Now I got back out of this folder. Yeah, there it is. And if we look up the header file, there's some more. I have no way of knowing if I can interact with you guys. Ooh, infinity, whatever. I can bring up chat over here in the Hangout, but I'm not sure about the YouTube thing. There's some more. Ooh. I have no way of knowing if I can interact with you guys. Ooh, infinity. Okay. Don't want myself repeating over myself and stuff. Here's the Reddit thread. Is anybody even in here? How about here? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Huh. I don't know. Alright, well, whatever. Oh, whoops. Guess I closed the screen share. Let's get back to that. Entire screen. And we're back in the terminal. Okay, so I have, this is a header for the data things I use in the unit tests. Externally defined constant suits ranks test deck data test hand. Okay. So what does my tests look like? Okay. There's various bits of other things that I don't want to implement yet or haven't implemented or whatever. So we'll get out of that. And now we'll check out the Cmake thing. See, so apparently I should have cascading Cmakes into Cmake lists.txt. I should have cascading files like that in the debug and the release and the test folders. But I don't, because I'm not sure how to make that work. So our first order of business is to get this Google test thing working out, and then I'll figure that cascading effect out. So look at the Cmake file. This is just all the flags I use for the different debug options or compile options. So I take all my source files, make them a statically linked library, link that to the main.cpp, and also link it to the unit tests main CPP. We include boost and the gtest one. All right. So I think I'm all up to speed. I think I'm adequately prepared to tackle the problem at hand. Back to root. No, whoops. We were at the root. All right. So let's find. This is my naive search to find out what I need to know. Okay, looks like Google is not interpreting the ctest thing as being a Cmake associated. Oh, because I didn't write ctest. Oh, this is what I meant to type. I'm new to Cmake and I'm using the Google Test Framework. I've looked for more complex examples of combining Cmake and the Google Testing Framework, but I've not turned up much luck. I was hoping that someone could provide their opinion on the setup I've arrived at and answer a question for me. Here's the basic project structure. So in his root directory, he has his lists file, a build directory, an include directory, a source directory, with another Cmake lists. See, he has that cascading thing going on that I don't know how to do. Google Cmake lists. Oh, well, he's included it in his. Okay. He has included the ctest libraries, I guess, directly into his project folder, which is not. You shouldn't do that, I guess, because it can conflict with whatever version you have on your computer. Excuse me. So, doesn't really matter though. Let's see what he comes up with. In a nutshell, the root cmake file adds source and tests. The source cmake file globs the CPP files into a library. The tests cmake file adds mocks and gtest as subdirectories. The mock cmake file globs all of its CPP files into a second library. Finally, the cmake file in the test folder links the source library, Google libraries, and the mocks libraries with the unit test executables. And as an aside, I think the mocks thing is a different, is another, it's something parallel to the Google test framework. I don't know what it does. What I eventually get are several executables. Not sure how it's pronounced. Let me look that up. Okay, that didn't work. Try Oxford. Executable. Okay. What I eventually get are several executables. Objective A and unit tests, whatever. A few things. To build all this and still keep my project directory fairly clean, I changed directory into the build folder and run cmake. This seems to work really well, and I was planning on configuring Vim to always run make out of this folder. I don't care about Vim or whatever you're trying to do. I'm not fond of the idea of having to nest the Google library in my project folder. Well, you shouldn't be. Why wouldn't you precompile them? I don't know where he's getting that information. Running the tests. I like that all I have to do is run make test to execute all my unit tests with ctest. I don't like the what the fuck? Ctest. He just skips over that. Each unit test executable contains several different unit tests. Running these directly provides Google's very verbose feedback. If one of the tests in an executable fails, I know exactly which test fails and why. Previously, I used a makefile. Whatever. Let's just see what they have to say. Here's a guy with an example. Let's jump right into this. Minimum cmake. Set the project name string to Google test examples. Project is project name string. I don't know what these arguments are to the project command. Whatever. And these are different compiler options that it might use. So if you're on Linux, it's probably GCC. If you're on Windows, Microsoft Visual C++, I think is what that stands for. I don't know. I've never worked on Windows. Set common include folder to module or for module. I don't know why you're doing that because C++ doesn't have a legitimate module system, but whatever. Set common includes set external projects directory. Oh my god, why are you just whatever? All this. See, I hate this. So here's the what? Where does he set project source directory? He doesn't. I guess that's implicitly set by the thing. God, that pisses me off. How are we supposed to know that that's implicitly defined? Project source directory. Let's just check. Is that source or, yeah, full word? Yay, it's implicitly defined. God damn. Okay. So first we have that little bit of abstraction that's not explicit. Then we get to here. He's adding another subdirectory through external projects directory. Yeah, so one extraction, second abstraction. It's just, is it really all necessary? I'm not convinced. Project test name, project name string, test. He keeps setting variables all the fucking time. How do you remember all these variables you've set? Glob. What the hell is glob? What is this file command? No idea. I don't see a ctest word in this at all. Add test. Does he even... See, there's supposed to be enable testing. Here you go. Okay. Oh, set project test name. Common includes test source files, project add executable, project test name, test source files, add dependencies. I have no idea what that does, add dependencies. These are various ways to compile the damn thing, I guess. And he adds a test one, project test name. Okay, let's go back to the README, see what he has to say about it. I don't know. Oops. Ctest is a testing tool distributed as part of Cmake. It can be used to automate updating, configuring, building, testing, performing memory checking, performing coverage, and submitting results to a C- or Dart dashboard system. Two basic modes of operation for ctest. The first mode, Cmake, is used to configure and build a project using special commands in the Cmake list file to create tests. Ctest can then be used to execute the tests and optionally upload the results to a dashboard server. This is what is handled in this tutorial. In the second mode, ctest runs a script to control the whole process of checking out, updating code, configuring and building and running the test. This is handled in scripting. Okay, that's not what we need. So, Cmake has support for adding tests to a project. Enable testing. Okay, looks like we need to add that. So we'll do that. I guess we'll just do this shit at the end, huh? Or we'll do it right after we make the tests inexecutable. We'll probably have to shift stuff around when I know what I'm doing. Okay, save it. Back. This adds another build target, which is test for makefile generators, or run tests. From that point on, you can use the add test command to add tests to the project. Add test, test name, executable name, arg1, arg2, or its longer form, blah, 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 blah. Working directory. Once you have built the project, you can execute all tests via make test with makefile generators or by rebuilding the run test target in your IDE. Internally, this runs ctest to perform. You could just as well execute ctest in the binary directory of your build. In some projects, you want to set postfix properties. Okay, I'm not really interested in this, in the dashboard thing. I don't know what it is actually at all. Run individual tests, dynamic analysis using Valgrind or Purify. I don't know what Purify is, but Valgrind's pretty cool. I might try to include that. Customization of the testing by providing custom regular expressions, ability to suppress tests from being tested or memory checked, ability to run commands before and after tests are run. Okay, submission of tests. Individual tests. Okay. All this customization shit. I'm more interested in this longer form because I do want to specify the configuration to be debug. So it uses the custom flags I have set up. I don't know what that means in the brackets though. Like, am I supposed to write out the word name and then a name and then write out the word configurations? Probably not. Well, let's just do this add test thing. So it looks like I can get rid of this and get rid of this and we'll call it main test. That's how Cmake will refer to it. And the name of the executable should be main test exe, and it's going to need test files and the game mechanics library. Okay, I guess we'll just see if it works. Of course, configuration incomplete. Errors occurred. Cannot specify link libraries for target tests, which is not built by this project. Did I? No. Oh. Wait. I don't know. Who cares? It should be fine with if we just include all the source files. We don't need to do the directory. We're just trying to get it to run. Oops. And run the last Cmake thing again. Target link libraries. Line 51. Oh. Well, how the hell? I don't know. Maybe we do have to build the damn thing. Maybe that's enough. Oh. Huh. Let's try that. Well, it looks like that's working. So it looks like you make the executable yourself and then just tell Cmake, or ctest rather, in the add test function, which one of those executables you made is for the unit tests. Oh, give me a second. It's kind of cold. I need to drag it. Wonder if anybody's watching now. And I also wonder if the new GCC version is up for Arch. Use up as a alias to update everything. Didn't do anything. Okay. Let's look. Nope, just my own upvote. What about here? Nope, nobody's chatted. To be fair, it is almost 8 a.m. Eastern time. In 1 hour, advanced compile time computation using templates. Ooh. Let's go back to the watch people code. Does it say I'm programming yet? Huh, totally is. To be fair, it is almost 8 a.m. Okay. Google test. Okay, so what has it done so far? Oh, we can get rid of the in thing. Get rid of this test. And I wish I could use the sed command, but I don't know how to use it. I need to replace the word tests with main test exe and all these. We'll ignore the testing file. And what was that? Ctest test file.cmake. Good. Okay. Chop. God damn it. Problem was I had sent this to the background and I had opened a new instance of it, so this file was locked by that process I had sent to the background. I think that's what it was called. I sent it to the background, and instead of opening it again, I need to hit foreground FG. So where was that? Debug, ctest, test file, testing. Okay, looks like it was right. I'll save it and get out of there. Good, nothing in the foreground. So now do good. Looks right. Okay. So let's look back at this. I don't know what these arguments would be to this add test thing. Let's look it up. Wait, wasn't there? Yeah. Specify the test command line. Okay. Execution of the test only to the named configurations. Oh. So I guess if I do release, like if I only do debug and then I build the release, it won't run the tests. Let's see if that's what it does. Okay. So right now, if I go to debug, I run make, test. Yeah. Or running ctest is equivalent. So if I go here and I do the same thing, and it won't do that. Oh, I need to make everything. So So there we go. Now we've got the main test executable, and if we do make test, ctest. Now it's treating it like it's one test, so that's weird. If we run it straight, we get the gtest output. That's what I actually want when I run ctest. Well, we'll figure that out later, I guess. But right now, we need to change the Cmake and oh yeah, and I use my cursor keys to get around in Emacs. Bite me. The main reason is I don't put my fingers on the home row. Everybody's using HG or HJ, K, and L, right? But I usually keep my fingers over here on KL, semicolon, and apostrophe, so that my pinky has direct access to backspace, the OR operator, enter, shift, brackets, parentheses, all that good stuff that I need when I'm programming. But whatever. Okay. So get rid of this. And we want a configuration here, right? Configuration should be debug. Right. Configurations. Working directory. Set the working directory test property to specify the working directory in which to execute the test. If not specified, the test will run with the current working directory set to the build directory corresponding to the current source directory. Okay, so I think in how I have it set up right now, it's assuming I have not specified a build directory. So it's assuming whatever directory I'm in happens to be the build directory, and I'm doing it out of source by calling cmake to the directory above. Well, I don't know. Here they've explicitly written out the word command. I don't know. All right. Just run it. Okay, I've saved it. And let's remove that and that and that. Let's just remove everything. And run cmake. I still have the test file. And it still does ctest. Now I'm testing it in the debug folder. Alrighty, well, that change seemed to have No discernible effect on either of these. Oh, wait, no, it is, since I deleted everything, it didn't remember. Okay, so, all right. I have this file, init.sh. Right. What that does is it goes into each file and it runs cmake with a certain configuration. And once you've done that once, it remembers what configuration and defaults back to it if you're in that directory. So when I removed everything, I removed that setting from those files, and it didn't, or those folders rather, and it didn't remember to default back to that configuration when building it. So it was running it without a configuration. Now, by my understanding, it shouldn't have mattered, because I thought that by specifying the configuration to be debug, if I compiled with any configuration that wasn't debug, it wouldn't have built the tests. But running with no configuration, which is a configuration, you could specify it with the word none if you wanted, like cmake, the cmake build type equals none. You could do it like that. Is not running it with debug, so I didn't think it would build it, but it did. So I'm still not sure. Let's just try it again. Remove everything. And cmake. Build. Debug. Actually, I put these too early. Should be here. Okay, and we'll make. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I add the executable here, whether testing has been enabled or not. So it's going to build this no matter what. But whether it adds the tests to ctest should be dependent only on the configuration. Anyway, got that. Did we make anything yet? Okay. There we go. There we go. Go to release. Maybe that won't happen. Move everything recursively and maybe. Why is it still? Damn it. Why are these running in 0.01 seconds? Oh, maybe it's because it's being compiled with the optimization flags, I think, instead of debug, which has no optimization. I don't know. Let's look back at the documentation. And is anybody watching? With the optimization flags, I think, instead of debug, which has no optimization. Nothing in chat.
I
don't know. Okay. Specify the test command line. Restrict execution of the test only to the named configurations. Shit. There's a cat fight outside. Add test. Name my test. Command test driver. Configure. Let's just do a Google search. Holy shit, what the hell? Don't know. Dude, it's all over my head. Well, looks like they absolutely specify everything, so. Let's try that. I don't remember if that's the term they use. Let's look back. Name, no, it's command. And configurations. Okay. And we want and Cmake. Well, Cmake ran fine, so it looks like that syntax is okay. Oh shit, we forgot to do the release type. Cmake. Equals release. There. Oh, we've got main test. We don't have any of our test files. Or, no, we have ctest test file. Let's just do no tests were found. Attaboy. Why is it still generating the ctest test file though? And I wonder if if we can test for testing being enabled before we build the executable, right? Okay. Don't see it there. Let's look for enable. Bullshit. See, what the hell is this? Did I misspell it? Nope, there it is. Enable underscore testing with parentheses. Enable underscore testing with parentheses. Without the parentheses, it shows up fine. All right, now we got to search for Google. Cmake test if enabled. Boy, that's a horrible query. It seemed to do fine though. That didn't answer my question. I've already read that. Cmake build tests only if enabled. This looks absolutely horrible. Let's look back, see if there's anything I can derive from the... Oh, fuck. A little different than the query I used before. Test if testing enabled. believe I have found a piece of code that did just that, but with the documentation of Cmake being so poor, I can't seem to find it anymore. In short, is there something like if testing enabled I can use in Cmake? Guess you're thinking of the build testing option, which is enabled by doing include ctest and is on by default. Let's look at that. Oh, so that's why it works. Build testing is on by default. That's why it worked earlier when we didn't specify a configuration type, but we were still limiting the configuration type. No, that's not. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I did that. Oh, I guess because we were using the wrong syntax before. Well, let's just try it. Build testing. Let's make this a little bit nicer. Oh, fucking Emacs, god damn it. There. Actually, I guess I could do this. I don't know if that's nicer or not, but it doesn't make me twitch. Actually, we want. I don't. See if I'm not in the debug version, then or if I am in the release version, I suppose, then I don't want the test files to be built and run and stuff because I won't care about testing at that point. I'll just be running it. Right? Or maybe I will want to test it because I want to test release. Shit, I don't know. I'll do another. Damn it. Another naive Google search. Cmake build tests only if debug. Let's look at that. Ah. So it looks like maybe in add executable there's an option for specifying configuration. Add executable. Exclude from all. I guess that would be excluding it from the make file target for all. Big. An imported executable target references an executable file located outside the project. No rules are generated to build it, and the imported target property is true. Well, that is not what we want, is it? No, it's not. Oh, good. Target link libraries has that option. Oh, there. Yep. Let's do some more Google searching. Cmake add executable for configuration. That's not what we wanted. Make only build tests if debug. My God. This looks promising. I like to build my application such that debug mode is a console application and release mode is a Win32 application. According to the documentation, I need to add Win32 to add executable depending on whether I want a console application or not. Because I'm using Visual Studio, I can't use Cmake build type. How can I tell Cmake to use Win32 for release builds, blah, blah. Oh my God, what the fuck? Must be globally unique within a project. The actual file name of the executable built is constructed based on conventions of the native platform. By default, the executable file will be created in the build tree directory corresponding to the source tree, whatever. If exclude from all is given, the corresponding property will be set on the created target. See documentation, whatever. Oh. set sources to this thing. If whatever, add library. Okay, creates an archive library of shared and sources. If lzmay found. Well, that's interesting. Because build specifications can be determined by dependencies, the lack of locality of a code which creates a target and code which is responsible for setting build specifications may make the code more difficult to reason about. Cmake provides a debugging facility to print the origin of the contents of properties can be debugged are listed in the Cmake debug target properties variable documentation. Configuration. Yeah. Let's look back at his example. What does he do? Enable testing. Add executable. Project test name. Dependencies. He just always does it, doesn't he? Yeah. Well, I'm getting sleepy. I guess you can always build your tests and always run your tests because, it's whether the release version or not, you ought to be testing your shit. So, guess that'll work. I'll work on making all my Cmake lists cascading next time. I'm getting sleepy and it's time for a nap. Alright, this has been the Frustrated Programmer. Thanks for getting frustrated with me. See you next time.